What happens when a private moment from someone's past suddenly returns to the spotlight, stripped of context and amplified by shock headlines? In an instant, Kristy McNichol's name begins trending again, not for her award-winning career or her legacy in Hollywood, but for images and rumors that the internet rushes to label before understanding the truth. And you're left with a question that feels uncomfortable but necessary. How quickly do we turn someone's life into a story they never agreed to tell? But before you believe the noise, there's a deeper story waiting beneath the surface. Because this isn't just about resurfaced images or viral controversy. It's about a young woman who once carried the weight of Hollywood fame, stepped away at the height of success, and chose silence over a life that no longer felt like her own. And when the world later tried to redefine her through scattered headlines, the real truth became even more important to understand. Kristy McNichol rose to fame incredibly young, capturing hearts with her performances in television and film during the late 1970s and 1980s. She wasn't just another rising star, she was a talent people felt emotionally connected to. Her role in Family earned her critical acclaim, including Emmy Awards, and she quickly became one of the most recognizable young actresses of her generation. But behind the glow of success, the pressure of fame was already building in ways the public could not see. As years passed, Kristy made a decision that stunned Hollywood. She stepped away, not because she was fading, not because she was forgotten, but because something inside her demanded peace. Later in life, she would open up about her struggles with mental health, revealing the emotional battles that shaped her decision to leave the spotlight. At the time, though, the industry didn't fully understand. Hollywood rarely does when someone chooses themselves over the system. Then came the wave of resurfaced attention years later. Old images and speculation began circulating online, detached from time, context, or truth. And as always, the internet reacted first and asked questions later. But what gets lost in that reaction is something deeply human. Kristy McNichol was never a public product. She was a person trying to live beyond the frame of fame that had defined her since childhood. The emotional conflict here runs deeper than headlines. Imagine living a life where your past never stays in the past, where moments are frozen, replayed, and reinterpreted without your voice in the conversation. How do you reclaim identity when the world insists on remembering you in fragments? For Kristy, stepping away from Hollywood wasn't escape, it was survival. It was the only way to rebuild a life that felt grounded, quiet, and real. Over time, she shifted her focus away from fame entirely, even choosing to support others in more private, meaningful ways, including teaching and creative work behind the scenes. There is something powerful in that kind of transition. It's not the story of loss, it's the story of reclaiming control in a world that rarely allows it. And when you look at her journey as a whole, the emotional peak isn't found in scandal or shock. It's found in the quiet strength of someone refusing to be defined by public perception. Because the truth is, fame can freeze a person in time, but it cannot decide who they become. So what lesson do you take from a story like this? Maybe it's that images don't tell full stories. Maybe it's that mental health deserves more compassion than curiosity. Or maybe it's that behind every viral headline is a real human being trying to live a life beyond it. And in the end, Kristy McNichol's story isn't about shock at all. It's about choosing peace in a world that constantly demands visibility and reminding you that sometimes the most powerful decision a person can make is simply walking away.